Morning, everyone. It is not Monday, no. It's Wednesday, the 5th of October 2022, 9:45 in the morning. I woke up to the sound of someone whippersnipping. And I looked out the window and I was like, yep, it's Andrew. So I knew I needed to get straight away up because as we're aware, if you've been following along for long enough, and to all of you who have, thank you so much, honestly. It really does truly mean the absolute world to me, okay? These videos I make them for many reasons. I guess number one is holding myself accountable. Number two is it helps me remember that even though I spend most of my time in 3D alone, it doesn't mean I'm actually alone. Because all of you wonderful people out there with me, and I know this, so thank you. So anyway, I thought it was probably best to get straight up and get dressed, because Andrew has said, obviously I've borrowed his lawnmower before. He has a lawnmower with this, I don't even know what it is, like if you think of it like an ordinary lawnmower that you have to push and exert like effort. Andrew's lawnmower has this like special lever thing. I'm sure you can tell I know all the technical words. But the gist of it is, when you use this lever thing, the lawnmower does actually the hard work for you. So he is letting me borrow that, because I don't really even see the point of turning my lawnmower on, because it's such a fucking nightmare and hit and miss whether it works or not. And unlike Andrew's, it takes a lot of effort. And I currently feel like I have zero. So I am dressed. I'm almost through my first coffee. I've had breakfast, taken my meds, all that's just fun stuff. But he had said to me, I asked, let's face it, because I used the lawnmower. I can honestly say, hand on heart, I've never used a whippersnipper in my life. I don't even know how to turn one on. Obviously I used to, sorry, I'm all fidgety, fucking hell. I used to pay for my gardener to come, yeah? Like, I think most of you know that. I am very much one of those people who, if I can pay someone to do something for me, I would much rather do that. And I guess some people might call it laziness. Oh my gosh. I personally call it saving my energy for the shit that I actually need it for, like this bloody assignment and my exam. Anyway, I woke up feeling dead to the world and not feeling great, truthfully. Just maybe like the beginning of a cold or something. Graham has a cold. And I'm starting to think we may have got it at the same place, since he's the only person I've been seeing. Besides Andrew when he pops over for a short visit. I'm trying to like get my hair to look like a reasonable, okay amount, which is funny because I don't tend to care. Anyway, so where am I at? I really have to go and pick up all the dog poo out the back, because Andrew said to me very clearly that he will happily do the whippersnipping in my home, because I literally can't. And I am that person who really, really needs my home to look nice. If my home is all messed up, including my backyard, then my brain becomes all messed up and everything just becomes harder. Alright? I full on almost had a fucking panic attack at the supermarket the other day trying to find the FM receiver for my car so that I can like play the music on my Spotify through my car speakers. I've actually absolutely no fucking idea what I was looking at, because in the wonderful world that is overwhelmed, sarcasm there in case we're not aware, when my overwhelm gets to the point that it does, it is literally like I become blind. Like I can see, but can't actually see anything. There's a term for it, but I'm mind blanking on what it is. Central blindness or something? I'll look it up. The point being, I couldn't find the receiver. Just like I forgot my fucking Nutter Leaks, yeah? Thank God peanut butter on toast without it, it's okay. Anyway, Andrew said he would happily represent it for me, provided I had cleaned the backyard of all the dog poo, which should not actually be a big deal if I was a proper grown up and did it every day. I am not a proper grown up, we all know this, and I don't do it every day. In all truthfulness, I actually do it usually about once a week right before the bins go out, and that is what I had planned on doing since the bins went out on Sunday. It's now Wednesday, and Andrew had told me he likes to mow his lawns at the start of the month, around about, depending on weather, yeah? So I will be mowing the lawns, but the last time I borrowed his lawnmower, it still wasn't right because I couldn't do the edges. So, the first thing I need to do when I can actually feel my legs properly, because right now they hurt so fucking bad, is to go outside and pick up dog poo. Relatively easy, but like I've just said, everything is fucking difficult when you're in this much pain. And my pain levels haven't dropped at any point. So yeah, he's already represented at the front. He is now mowing his side. I think he might have gathered that I just got up and I will need to wake up before I can function. But I also don't want to keep him waiting, so I do have to do it. But I wanted to tell this very short story, or quick story, or whatever it is, because it is a pure example of what anxiety can do to a person who has as many issues as I do. Maybe that doesn't come out right, but I'll tell the story and you guys can all figure out what I'm trying to say, yeah? So, I know I've mentioned that I met a woman around the corner. She had a picture outside of her house that I really loved, and every time I walked past it, I would smile, because I'm one of those people, yeah? And like I said, she's literally around the corner. So like, if my street, I don't know, maybe there's like 6 or 7 more houses in one direction. Actually got no fucking idea, but let's average it, yeah? And then on the crossover street at the T section, she's just around the corner. The equivalent of about 2 fucking minutes walk from me, yeah? Anyway, I've been saying to Graham and I've been saying to Andrew that I'm really, really confused. I can hear him. I'm really, really confused as to why on the day that I met her, so I was walking Boss and she'd been in the car, and I'm almost positive I made a video about it, and she got out of the car and there was a bike in the yard and we started talking and we hit it off, and she was like, yeah, we'll definitely come past. We're so close. It'll be awesome. My friend will, be happy to ride with you. Blah, blah, blah. And she was really good. She was happy. She was excited almost, like I was, to have a potentially really close new friend. And she has a dog. And we'd already discussed, walking our dogs together or taking them to the dog park together or something, because, we're that fucking close. Anyway, I was really excited to meet her and really excited to have a catch up with her. And she had sounded really excited too. So, I messaged her a couple of times asking her, are you free to walk the dog, or have, maybe catch up on Saturday night for a drink, or, just something, and then she's slowly but surely but putting shit out on the front nature strip, right, which is like hard rubber, so people just take what they want. And I remember and at one point I'd messaged her to the point where I'm like, okay, this is it. This is my last message. Like, if there's something going on, like, I don't want to be that sad, pathetic, desperate person who needs friends. So I'd messaged her about catching up to walk the dogs or something. And then I got this random message from her, like 3:30 in the morning or something, saying, hey, I don't want to be rude. Everything is just a bit crazy, work's crazy. So, basically she was just saying I have to leave it for a while. And I truly felt like that was a lie and a fob off, just like I changed my mind, I don't want to get to know you, right? So when I walked my dog past the next time, and the picture that started this all was in the front nature strip for either throwing out or someone else to take it, I was quite shocked, because let's face it, I had made it really apparent that the photo is this big picture is what it was making my day. Every time I walked past it, I couldn't help but read it. It would make me smile, and it's scientifically proven that if you make yourself smile, regardless of whatever the fuck mood you're in, it will help change your emotion. So when I saw it on the front nature strip, I was just so confused. I was like, okay, you've decided you don't like me. This is all in my head, of course. I'm like, you've decided you don't like me. You don't want anything to do with me. I've absolutely no fucking idea what's happened from the day we met to now. Not much I can do about it. But I wanted to confirm that the picture was for anyone to take. So I had Boss with me, and I knocked on her door. Nothing. So I knocked again, and her dog started going crazy, and the car was in the driveway. So I figured she must be there, and I was like, I want the picture, I'm taking the picture, but I also am that person, I need permission. Because just in case, yeah? And so I knocked again until she answered the door, and she was very different, cagey almost. And I was like, are you getting rid of the picture? And she's like, yeah, take it if you want, take it, it's fine. And I was like, look, I'm in the beginning of Walking Boss. There's no way I can carry it with me. Do you mind if I put it back onto your side of the front lawn so somebody else doesn't take it, so that I can swing back around on my walk home and grab it? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. And it was a very short, simple, right, conversation. And I've been so fucking confused about this interaction since it started that I have very much talked to Andrew about it, Graham about it. I obviously talked to Randy about it at the time. To the point where I even said to Andrew at one point, I was like, there's a huge fucking part of me that wants to knock on her door and ask her to explain to me just exactly what happened between the day we met and till date. Because, like, as someone who's very aware that people either like me or don't like me, and it's a hit or miss from what I can tell, because I am that, let's face it, I stopped wearing masks a long fucking time ago. Who I am is who I am, and who I am is me all the time. I know not to share everything. Like, I don't fucking lie ever, but I also don't share everything. Like, whenever the fuck my support work gets sorted out, this obviously won't be shared. I think that's a given. Anyway, yesterday, what was yesterday? Yesterday, once again, I spent much more time reading over other people's stuff. I seriously think when I graduate, I might even just see if I can apply for like an online working from home editing job, because I fucking love editing. Editing other people's work is actually really fun for me. Writing it, on the other hand, when it comes to academic stuff, not so much. But I know I can do it. So anyway, I had replied to the email that I got saying that I could have had time on my resubmission of my first one. And I was like, well, thanks very much, but as a student who would never, ever submit after the after the submission time without actually knowing I'm not going to get late penalties, I'm like, it's already done. And the admin team replied saying that they were really sorry. They didn't mean to add any more stress. They're inundated with emails that they just can't catch up on. I'm not totally sure what's going on, but yeah, she said us flat out. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But I said to her, look, I am that student. I was like, when the countdown starts, I'm like, my overwhelm becomes worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, look, I would love to get the second assignment in by Friday, the day it's due. I said, but if I try to do that, there's no chance it will be even half the ability that I know I can do it in. And I was like, look, I'd really appreciate an extension. I said a week would be great. I said, but if not a week, can you please give me until 11:59 on Tuesday night? Because the way I think of it like this is, obviously it still needs to be submitted ASAP because I have a fuckload of exam content to go through, right? I'm very grateful I have now heard the entire textbook all the way through once, and I'm at chapter 5, working my way through it again, which is helpful. But I can't function by doing an exam if I haven't done all the fucking content first. The amount of grades I have lost throughout my university career just by really dumb fucking bullshit simply due to overwhelm and anxiety. It's enough to make me cry if I allowed myself to attach to it too much, but I'm not, because that isn't going to help me. I'm just taking all the lessons on board for the next degree. Anyway, it does appear that my meds are helping to kick in. So, I'm going to end the story about my neighbour. Right. Anyway, as far as I was concerned, she just decided she didn't like me or want to get to know me for whatever reason. I was seriously contemplating going to her house to knock on her door to actually ask her why. And then I said to Andrew, I'm like, I feel like that's something that would make me, and I keep thinking, I'm not sure which word I mean, but maybe that looks like I don't have any self-respect, or I don't know. Anyway, the point was, it wasn't so much she didn't want to talk to me, it was the pure and utter confusion of what the fuck had happened in between. So anyway, yesterday I was sort of sitting outside working on my assignment. It was like the sun was starting to go down, but I just needed like the change of scenery, you know. So I was sitting on my front step, and it was getting darker, and I did have my glasses on, but this woman was walking with a dog like on the other side of the street, and she sort of stopped and looked at me, and then she crossed the street to my side, and she sort of was standing at the end of my driveway. Now, I even remember thinking, am I wearing glasses? Yes, I am. So it must have been a lot darker than I realized, because I was almost positive I knew who it was. And she was looking at me, like sort of standing there, and I looked back and I was like, is that? And I was about to mention her dog's name, and then she's like, it's such and such. I don't remember what I've called her actually, but anyway, such and such is her real name from around the corner. And I was like, oh wow, hi, nice to see you, sort of. And I got up and I went to talk to her, and I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought you just decided you didn't like me, and I've been utterly fucking confused since the day I met you. I said, because, you know, I've been trying to work out what's going on. I said, sometimes it looks like you might have kids with the stuff at the front. I said, you told me you were working around the clock, and yet I live around the corner. I said, I walk past your house non-stop. I said, I always see the car there. I'm like, can you please just tell me what happened? I was like, because not knowing, not having closure is something that is obviously a massive big deal for me. And in the end, and it was ironic, because I was working on my personality profile, and what I have found out will 100% be going in there, and that is that absolutely nothing that my mind created in my head about all the reasons why she decided she didn't want to talk to me, or didn't like me, or I wasn't good enough to be, you know, someone that might become a friend, or whatever it is, had absolutely nothing to do with me. It turns out that she found out she was pregnant in between the time I spoke to her and yesterday. She had an issue with the housemate she had, so she's had to move out, hence the bike is no longer there. Her partner is inconvenience right now. It's the only way I guess I'm going to put it, because I really don't like to tell too much information about other people, except for where it comes in and makes sense to me. But the point of the matter is, she was like, she is really sick with morning sickness. She was like, the day you knocked on the door about the picture, she's like, I'm so sorry if I came across as I was rude. She was like, I'm just not handling anything. She's like, I live by myself, work's insane, now I'm pregnant, like your partner is away, we'll be back whenever he's back. And the only support she's got is her mother-in-law's flying down from somewhere and is going to start trying to find a place to live in and around the area. But yeah, she was like, I'm so sorry that I made you feel like that. She's like, you've done absolutely nothing wrong. She's like, absolutely, I still want to hang out with you and walk the dogs. And, you know, she's like, I'm just not coping being alone and pregnant and severe morning sickness and all of that stuff. And and I was like, I am so grateful that that, you know, you've seen me. And she goes, look, I wasn't even going to walk this way. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, pause. So I paused this video when Andrew arrived to do the whippersnipping, and then obviously I had to like go up back and do the dog poo, and have actually already mowed the front lawn, and I'm almost finished mowing the back lawn. I'm just raking up the rest. I haven't missed anything. But yeah, I have my medication is arriving today, and I just realized that I asked the pharmacist to please make sure the package says must be signed, just in case because of the neighbours. And I was like, fuck, he might not even know I'm here because I'm out back. So I just stuck a note on the door saying, you know, delivery person, I am home, please call me, it's an urgent package. And since I now need my phone in case it calls, I figured I'd end this video now, get it uploaded and get the rest of what I need done, because I haven't even finished my morning coffee. Ergo, I really fucking need one. And yeah, probably talk to you all later today. See ya.